Welcome back, everybody. So this is the ultimate YouTube creator guide. It's going to be covering everything from coming up with a video idea to editing to thumbnails to the tags and description you want to use on that video. It's meant for the up-and-coming YouTubers, the new creators that are getting started on the site and making videos. It's not meant for the people that have been here for a while and really know what they're doing already. The recommendations I'm giving in here are going to be pretty simple and bare bones. However, I will link in the description some more in-depth videos covering what recommendations, whether it be gear or software or anything like that. And I'm not going to go into the gear or software that I use because that will be a whole nother video explaining why I use each piece of tech and each piece of software that I do use. Gonna keep it pretty simple for the sake of this video. Let's do this. So the first thing I want to cover is the idea. When you're coming up with a video idea, it really does depend on your specific niche or area of YouTube. However, there are some general boxes that I like to check. The first of which is it's a popular topic. Doesn't need to be the biggest trend out there, but you do want some buzz to be around the topic that you're making a video about, just so it can get the exposure that you're looking for. 2, you're going to want to take a unique approach to that topic, not just do what everyone else is doing. You know, create your own style. That'll happen with time, but create your own style and you'll get your own loyal audience. And 3, the most important of all when it comes to the idea is have it be something you want to do. If you're just doing it to get the views or just doing it to get money, it's gonna show through the video and eventually it'll come back to haunt you. Just make sure it's something you want to do and the views and the traffic and the subscribers will come. So the next part is a script. A lot of people use scripts on YouTube. There are some people that do a full-on word-for-word script and a teleprompter, and that can work really well. There are also some people that will literally turn the camera on, open their phone on Twitter, and just wing the entire video, and that can work super well as well. I do somewhere in the middle. I kind of outline a video with bullet points, and then while I'm on camera, I fill in all the gaps and kind of make it into a flowing conversation type thing. So I use a bullet point skeleton, but this is really depending on your own personal preference. So that brings us to recording the video and the video gear, starting with the camera. Cameras are very important, but they're not as important as you may think. It's easy, especially in the tech space, to look at the big YouTubers using $50,000 RED cameras and think that you need a really nice camera to make a good video, but that's really not true. The story and the composition and the shots and the plot throughout the video are much more important than the camera. Honestly, if you're starting from nothing, the best camera you have is your smartphone. Above that, the Canon T3i is great, and above that, the Sony a6500 is great, but really don't focus too much on the camera. The story, the composition, and what content is actually in the video is much more important. Lighting is also a big part of video equipment. Now, the best light you can get is actually free. It's sunlight. If you can get free daylight coming through a window or filming outside, that's fantastic. You're not going to get much better light than that for any price that's reasonable. However, if you are filming at night or in a dark area, you can use artificial lights. There's soft boxes and LED lights. A lot of varieties and options out there. I'll link a few that I've used in the past in the description below. But natural light as much as possible, and then maybe a soft box or an LED light to supplement that light. So that brings us to audio. Audio is half the battle when it comes to making a YouTube video. There are 3 main types of mics to consider. You're not going to want to use the built-in one on your camera or smartphone. Those 3 types of mics are the studio condenser style mic, a shotgun style mic, or a lav mic. Really, I would just focus on the studio condenser mic for beginners because they're great at both voiceovers and live recording, and they're fairly inexpensive. Some tried and true recommendations are the newer NW700, the Blue Snowball, and the Blue Yeti. Those range in price from about $30 to $100. However, do keep in mind that with these studio condenser mics, you'll be recording into a computer and you will need to sync that audio up to the video in post. However, that is not actually that hard. There are plenty of tutorials on YouTube. So now I'm going to talk about background music. Background music is very underrated in the YouTube community. It's a great way to make your videos a little bit more interesting or entertaining and flowing as you go through the video. There's a lot of different places you can get background music from, but you definitely want to be safe here. The safest way to go is with a service like Epidemic Sound. That's who I use. Epidemic Sound is a website with a copyright-free library of over 30,000 tracks of all types, and it's really easy to search through them. You can get a 30-day free trial, and then if you have just a small channel, it's only $12 a month for unlimited usage. And then when you use one of those songs with a subscription, that music in your video is Content ID safe forever. I wish I started using this way earlier. I used to have some troubles with copyright and a few claims. I haven't had any trouble since using Epidemic Sound. Very highly recommended. That brings us to video editing software. You're going to need to throw all this together somewhere. There are three main options in the market right now. You've got Adobe Premiere, Sony Vegas, and Final Cut, which for you Apple users. Each of them has their own advantages. If you have any experience or familiarity with them already, stick to that one because the one you know best is the one you'll be able to best edit on. However, if you have no experience, Premiere is good if you want to use the whole Adobe suite like After Effects and it has a lot of power behind it. Sony Vegas is pretty efficient at what it does, and Final Cut is the best performance you can get if you're on a Mac. Really, it does come down to personal preference though. And next comes the thumbnail. So the thumbnail is extremely important with a video. It's the first thing people look at and decide upon whether or not to click on your video. One, you're gonna want to think about your thumbnail and take a specific shot for the thumbnail. Don't just take a grab from the video itself. Think and really plan it out and then take that shot, then bring it into a photo editing software. Your two main options are Photoshop and GIMP. Don't feel obligated to pay for Photoshop. GIMP is basically a free version of that. I still use it to this day. Just watch a few tutorials on YouTube of basic thumbnail tutorials within GIMP or Photoshop. You'll have the hang of it, no problem, and you'll be able to create really good thumbnails that are attractive and make people want to click on your videos. And that brings us to the title, description, and tags. Of course, these are going to depend on your niche and the video topic and everything, so I can only give very general recommendations here. With the title, you want it to intrigue and excite the person and make them want to click it without being misleading. You want to make sure it accurately reflects the content within the video. For example, on this channel, Best Mechanical Keyboard for $20 is an appropriate title because it represents what's inside of the video. However, this $20 keyboard will save your life would be a bad title because that doesn't actually represent what is in the video. Even though it might get more attention in the sidebar, it's not worth it in the long run. For the description, you want to just gonna include any relevant product links, social media links, anything you'd include, or anything you said you'd include in the description, definitely put it in there. And then maybe a quick blurb about what the video is about that can help with the search engine optimization if you just have some more words in there. And then with the tags, really anything relevant, any word or phrase relevant to the video topic. With this, just try to think of what other people are searching on YouTube and then include some of those search phrases in the tags to get as much attention as you can. Alright, that's going to be it for this video. I wanted to include as much information about the entire process as I could, so I couldn't go too in-depth in any of these subjects. If you want to see a whole series with long videos explaining each and every part of that process, let me know in the comments down below. If you are an up-and-coming YouTube creator, and you found this information useful, definitely let me know in the comments below. I'm trying out some new styles of videos, seeing how they are received, so let me know if you like what you're seeing. Thank you for watching, subscribe to see more content, and as always, stay classy.